All right, let's talk about health. But I want you to forget everything you think you know. Forget the gym, forget the diet plans, just for a minute. Instead, I want you to imagine your life is a grand piece of music, a symphony, your symphony.
I mean, have you ever felt that? That feeling that you're checking all the right boxes, you're doing everything you're supposed to do, but something inside just feels off-key. If you have, you're not alone. It's this weird dissonance that tells us pretty clearly that our usual definition of health is missing something big.
And that right there, that's the core problem. So many of us are living an out-of-tune life. We've bought into this really narrow, really limited idea of what it means to be healthy, and for a lot of people, it's just not working.
So here's the big idea. Real health isn't about numbers on a scale or a perfect blood pressure reading. It's about harmony. It's about how all the different pieces of your life are playing together. Think about it. If your relationships are a screeching out-of-tune violin, it doesn't really matter how perfectly your physical fitness drum is banging away. The result is just noise.
So what are these different pieces? What are the instruments in our orchestra? Well, the framework we're exploring today breaks it all down into 11 distinct layers of our lives. These are the 11 instruments we need to learn to hear and eventually to tune.
Let's start right at the center, okay? The absolute bedrock of your well-being. These first three instruments are all about your internal world. They're the core regulators of how you experience being alive.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because it's all about a shift in perspective. Your physical health, it's not about becoming a marathon runner. It's about regulating your body's natural rhythms, like sleep and energy. Your mental health, it's not about trying to never have a negative thought again. Good luck with that. It's about getting control of the story you tell yourself about your life. And your emotional health. It's not about being happy 24/7. It's about seeing your feelings for what they are. Data. They're just signals trying to tell you something.
Okay, so from that inner core, let's move outwards a bit. Let's talk about how you actually engage with the world around you. This next group of instruments is all about how we experience reality, how we learn, and how we connect.
And this is such a cool contrast, right? Two totally different, but equally vital ways to grow. On one side, you have the sensory layer. This is all about being present. It's about experiencing awe, like really stopping to look at a sunset, which science shows literally calms and recalibrates our nervous system. Then you have the intellectual layer, which is about expansion. It's about actively looking for new ideas that challenge what you think you know. One is about looking in, the other is about reaching out. You need both. Okay, everybody, lean in for this one. If you only remember one thing today, please make it this. The Harvard study of adult development, which has been going for over 80 years, by the way, is unbelievably clear on this. The single greatest predictor of your long-term health and happiness is the quality of your relationships. Not your money, not your career, not your genetics, your connections. It's literally a biological need.
Now let's dive into two instruments that are uniquely under attack in our modern world. First, your environment, your physical space. It's basically an extension of your mind. A cluttered, stressful home creates a cluttered, stressful mind. Simple as that. But then, there's the digital layer. Look, your attention is the most valuable currency you have, and almost every app on your phone is designed to steal it. So you have to ask yourself, is your phone a tool that serves you, or are you serving it?
And that brings us to the top. The layers that give our lives real meaning and purpose. Your work? Is it just a transaction for a paycheck? Or does it feel like a real contribution? Your stuff? Are your possessions tools that help you live your life? Or are they a burden that you have to manage? And finally, your spiritual life. And that just means, are you connected to something bigger than yourself? Something that gives you a reason to keep going when things get really hard?
Phew, okay, that was a lot, I know. So, what do we do with all this? It's not enough to just admire the orchestra, right? We have to step up and be the conductor. And that brings us to a super simple but really powerful tool, the holistic audit.
It's incredibly straightforward. Seriously. Step 1, just think about all 11 of those layers we just went through. Step 2, on a scale of 1 to 10, give each one an honest score. Not what you want it to be, but what it actually feels like right now. And step 3, find your single lowest score. That's it. That's your starting point.
So maybe you do the audit, and your physical score is a 9. You feel great. But your social score, your connection with others, comes back as a 2.
Now, here's the most important part of this whole thing. That 2? That is not a failing grade. It is not something to feel bad about. It's a signpost. It's a bright, flashing arrow pointing you directly to the part of your system where all your energy is leaking out. It's showing you the exact spot where just a little bit of effort is going to create the biggest possible change in your entire life.
And this all leads to a really beautiful, simple idea. You don't have to fix your entire life all at once. You don't have to overhaul the whole orchestra. You just have to tune one string. This is the absolute magic of looking at your health this way. It's a system. When you improve one part, the benefits just ripple out everywhere. You focus on that too in your social life by, say, calling an old friend once a week. And suddenly, what happens? Your emotional health gets a little better. Your mental stress goes down. Your spiritual sense of connection feels stronger. See? Health improves sideways, not in a straight line.
So let's just throw out the whole idea of self-improvement. It's exhausting, right? It feels like a race you can never win. This isn't that. Think of this as calm, regular system maintenance. You're a complex, amazing system. Your only job is to find the one part that's a little out of tune and gently give it the attention it needs.
So, I'll leave you with this question. A question for you about your symphony. Which instrument is the most out of tune right now? What's the one string that if you just focused on it for the next 30 days could change the entire song your life is playing?